Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here and we're going to give you guys a review of an older car, but one of my all-time favorite hypercars, supercars, whatever you want to call it. It is the Ferrari 458 Italia, and I've always just loved. Why am I in a drift trial? Hello? How'd I end up in this? But the Ferrari 458 Italia is just one of my favorites. I mean, from the design at the front, with the aerodynamics that push down to give you more downforce, the way that it just channels the airflow through the body. I've always loved this car, and it's always just awesome to drive. Of course, it does have a little bit of a feel of being a little bit older now. It's kind of strange to look at the back of it and be like, oh, that's a little outdated. It's definitely interesting because I remember like when this car was new, how amazing it was. And oh, I guess I only get to do one lap. Understandable. But again, looking at the car here, this is a great time to take a look at it and really just discuss it. Just the body of it, the front still looks very, very aggressive. It still does look like it can hold up, but the back just has a little dated look. And yeah, just the performance of this car overall. It is a very nice car to drive still. You can tell when you drive the regular road versions of the cars in this game, compared to the race cars, that happens. I feel like the race car 458 Italia would stick to that corner, where this one here maybe doesn't, just because, again, being built for the road, these cars don't handle as well. Again, it still handles very, very nice, but you gotta drive a little differently than the race car versions. Definitely should have pushed out more to that curb as I look through that. But this car, again, it's a pretty powerful car, uh, pretty quick car, and honestly an amazing looking car. Um, Definitely can't wait to see how this goes around Daytona on the road course. I don't think it's gonna do insanely well on the lap board, but I think that it will put up a reasonable time. I think that it will do well. So let's go to Daytona and see how the car performs. All right, before we jump into our Daytona test, I do want to try the Ferrari F8 as well. Get a comparison between both cars in today's video. But first, the Ferrari 458, just the key stats. I didn't go over that. It's got 570 horsepower, and it can go 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. So, still very impressive even by today's car numbers and statistics. So if we look now to the Ferrari F8, which again is a way newer car. This car came out in 2019 and its production ended in 2023. So that has 720 horsepower. So definitely a quicker car, for sure, or a little bit faster on that. So the F8 0 to 60 is 2.9. So again, a little bit faster as well than the 0 to 60 time for the the car, the 458. So this car does have a livery for it because this is actually something I intended to use in the racing series that we did. Racing Champions. I know this will be one of my open class cars. It definitely looks a little bit more aggressive than the 458. In the back of it does have a little bit more modern look. I think the headlight or the tail lights sort of sticking up out of the back of the 458 is kind of what gives it that older looking car vibe, in my opinion. The front of this, though, just absolutely amazing. I love how the front nose kind of sticks out and then it has a curve and then there's a little bit sticking out the bottom again. obviously that will be done for downforce to the car as well. So it's just an amazing looking car. I absolutely love this design, this car. I think that all the Ferraris in that line, because of course the 458 and this are the same line of cars basically. It's their main uh, supercar, and then of course they come out with their crazy supercars every 10, 15 years. The Enzo, LaFerrari, F40, F50, like all those in that line. So this is this line, and I think that it's absolutely brilliant car. But what I'm really ready to do is take these to Daytona and see how fast they are and how they compare to our leaderboard and some of the other cars on it. So here we are at Daytona at the road course. And these are our cars so far. We've tested 10 cars throughout this series. Well, actually, one wasn't tested part of the series, the Super here, but the rest of them were. Um, and the fastest car was the last episode, the Lambo V12 VGT. Also, the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series, Mercedes AMG GT3. Those are the fastest three cars. Um, I'm not expecting to be in that range. I'm expecting to be around the Lexus LFA range, especially with the F8. The 458, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's down more around the Stingray SLR McLaren range. Because the F8 does have some modification done to it to make it race ready for the open class in Racing Champions when we were recording that series, and even when I picked that car for it. Of course, the LFA kind of became the car I used in the open class in that series, but initially the F8 was a car I was looking at using and intended to use. So it does have a little bit more modification. Oh my god! Alright. We're going to give it a retry. Occasionally, we will give the cars a retry on it. Okay, this car is on, I just realized it's street tires that are hard street tires. So, yeah. Doesn't have that grip that I really want. When I'm blasting down this straight at Daytona, when it's gonna brake, I want it to be a little bit better. So we're gonna start braking now. And oh boy, was it good that I did, because if I didn't, I think I would have drifted out of the track again. Wow. Alright, hit that curb. Hit that curb. Slow it down, slow it down. This car really missed that apex of the corner. There was nothing I could do about it. We're gonna hit that curb, push out wide onto that one. Slam the brakes on. This thing is just not gripping, and the street hard tires are definitely part of it. Part of its issue. We've seen it in our review of it at the beginning of the episode. This thing wanted to slide off the track, and it still does. It's just not on the right tires for blasting around Daytona. So that's a bit of an issue, but we're gonna make it work. See what we can do. Oh my god. Oh my god. Not brilliant. Not brilliant. Oh my god. 151, 52, 53, 54, 155.133 is our time for the Ferrari. That puts it 9th on the board. kind of close to the Mercedes McLaren SLR, which makes sense. They're both on street hard tires, and they both performed pretty badly. All right, time to switch now to the F8. This is on what tires? Racing soft. So this thing should perform a little bit better. I expect it to be a little bit closer to the LFA compared to the Ferrari we just tried. Again, the LFA was a better choice for the racing series in this one, so I'd expect it to be a little bit below the LFA. Oh yeah, this thing definitely had better braking into that corner. The upgrades to the car, to the brakes, and also having the soft tires on it definitely helped this car being a little bit better. Alright, through the infield section here of Daytona, what can we do? Clip the grass and that curb a little bit, slid out, but that's gonna be just fine. Pushing out onto the grass just a little bit. Get us lined up to head back onto the oval part of the track. See what we can do, really get this thing up to speed, get it flying around this track. Here we go, get ready to head into the first turn here. Handled it relatively well. Taking all the curbs nicely. Back up onto the banking once again after taking the back straight chicane. Really flying through here. This thing's going to put up a way better time than the previous Ferrari did. We're going to 138 now, which is the all-time record. 140, this thing could have an insane time. Absolutely. Setting an insane lap, even better than I thought it was going to be. The Ferrari F8 is going to come in onto the board as third fastest, which does make sense because it actually has the highest PP of any car that we've tested so far around this track. I guess it makes sense because the F8 was in our first open class. The F8 was our second open class when we locked it down. I kind of forgot that there was a big gap in between that. The F8 was the open class in season 2. The LFA was open class in season 4. So, it doesn't make sense because the F8 got destroyed because it was in the open class when there was no cap on the PP that you could have for your car. So, the Ferrari F8 absolutely kills it around the track. 140. Probably if I didn't slide in one of those infield sections, I think I probably could have set an even faster lap time. But beautiful. 140. Gonna set the Ferrari F8 third. Actually above the Mercedes AMG GT3 race car. So that's a bit surprising there. But the board's filling up nicely. We got 12 cars so far on the overall board. That is getting pretty close to being full because I think you're going to have 20 and then it probably starts deleting some times off of it. So there is that. But that's that. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in next week because we're going to be doing car reviews weekly, at least here in February.